Hi, welcome, welcome. Hi, everyone. Welcome to our series on dealing with uncertainty. Hoping that these series are a bit of a ray of light in a world that's a little complicated right now. So, kind of the image that I've been using to think about it is, if a cloud passes over, if it's a cloudy day and let's see, if it's a cloudy day, but then there's a ray of light that shines through, right? Like ray of light, like, doesn't make the clouds go away, but it kind of warms you up a little bit. It's a little bit of like a chink in the armor. So yeah, hi. Yay.
Hi.
Hi, Kris.
Hi, how are you?
Doing well. It's so good to see you. God, I was just talking about how this uncertainty series, my goal is for it to be a ray of sunlight on a cloudy day that just makes its way through. And seeing you is like a ray of sunlight on literally a cloudy day. So yeah, glad you're here.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
I have had a chance to watch a couple of your interviews this week, and I have found it enormously helpful. Just these quick, strategies for different ways to think about getting through these tough times. So thank you for doing that. It's
My
been
pleasure. Well,
wonderful.
thank you for being willing to come on and to share. And what I've been, what I've been saying is that, I don't have all the answers. Kris doesn't have all the answers. Dr. Martin, who I had yesterday, doesn't have all the answers. No one has all the answers, right? But so we're coming together to share what we do know, share these points of light or these different ways of seeing this moment. I was really excited I was excited when Kris said, yes, I'm going to come on. I'll do it because a couple things for you to know about Kris. Kris runs a practice called Barker Evans. It's a landscape design, landscape architecture practice. She's actually one of my clients and a client who was just incredible to work with. When we worked together, we helped her figure out where she really wanted her practice to go and to kind of make some decisions around, and I'll let her speak a little bit to that if that becomes relevant today. But we recently caught up and Kris was mentioning to me some of the ways that she's thinking about this odd time, some of the points of light that were showing up for her in this time. And I was just like, I think people need to hear this we don't all get stuck in like everything's falling apart, because not everything is falling apart. Many things are falling apart, but not everything. And yeah, just the level of like thoughtfulness that she has about this time, I just really wanted you to hear it. So let's dive in. So yeah, tell us what was on your mind when, coronavirus first kind of hit and stay at home started, and we started to see effects on our economy. Yeah, what was on your mind?
I first became aware or sort of had feelings of a little bit of a panic when I did have a client at the end of February not sign contracts. They were poised to sign $100,000 contracts and just sort of tear their yard apart. And they sent out this email saying, we are worried about supply chains. We're worried about crews getting sick. We're not going to sign these contracts. And I remember thinking, oh my God, what do they know that I don't know? And I started getting this sinking feeling because I've lived through 9/11 as a landscape architect where I was furloughed. I've lived through 2008 where, it was financially difficult. And the thought was just like, oh, not again.
Yeah.
At the same time, though, I had these new leads. And I, in particular, I had a new lead for a project in California. And it was a really exciting, really challenging project. And I was really excited about it. And I would check in with them and I hadn't gotten the project yet. They were just considering me. And I kept waiting for the shoe to drop. I kept waiting for them to say, you know what, you know what, these are times are too uncertain. But instead, they had the other reaction, which is like, well, why wait?
Yeah.
Why? We're spending so much time at home. I'm not sure why we should wait. But the issue for me was I couldn't get on a plane
Right.
and get out to LA and meet with them. And, you know, one of the skills that I have in landing projects is meeting with people, being on the site, and sort of helping them with their vision.
Yeah.
Right? That's
Yeah.
often how I get jobs. But I started panicking because I thought, I can't get this job if I can't fly out and meet with them, and they're going to have to pick somebody else in California. But this is why I appreciated Dr. Martin yesterday, because I think she said, you know, when we're stressed, we don't think rationally, you know, our brain go to our feet. And I thought, okay, so plan A is, you know, do it the way I've always done it, but I can't do it. And so I'll just have to wait till all this is over. That didn't feel right. So what's plan B? Well, plan B is I can do this by Zoom.
Yeah.
I've never tried to win a lead meeting by Zoom, but what do I got to lose?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I really felt like I harnessed you, because you do really successful Zoom meetings. And I thought, so how can I do a successful Zoom meeting? I know from Maya, you have to come really prepared. That's one thing. And I do go prepared to lead meetings, but the second part of it was I have to figure out how I'm going to keep everybody focused, and how am I going to present myself as someone that is skilled and can handle this project from afar.
Yep.
And so I just spent a few hours. I don't normally do this for lead meetings, but I got out the topo plan. I got out my hillside ordinances, and I brainstormed a couple of ideas, much like I would do if I was at the site with them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so in this lead meeting on Zoom, I sort of transferred what I do on site to this meeting. And I actually ended up getting the project.
Yeah.
And it was sort of astonishing to me that I didn't have to spend 8 hours flying out to LA, you know, 2 hours renting a car and driving in traffic, and then, you know, the reverse back to Chicago and then, you know, I didn't, the time and the money of doing that, I did it instead over Zoom in 3 or 4 hours. That was astonishing to me. And that was a big wake-up call. Like there's a new normal going on here, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's the third part of it, right? That there's a new normal going on, and that the world has changed, much like 9/11.
Yeah.
The world has changed. And so what are going to be the new expectations? Because there are, right?
Yeah.
And we can't do often what we did before.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't know what the future, right? I don't know what the new normal is. I just know, you know, you just got to figure out how to create strategies to solve your problems every day, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like baby steps. It's then like Bolanley. I don't know if I'm saying her name right.
Yeah, Bolanley. Yep. And Bolan for short. Yep.
You know, that was the same thing. It's like, that was helpful too. It's like, it's about taking baby steps, right? In it, and figuring it out as you go along, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And part of what I love about that, so, you know, Kris mentioned to me, she's like, this made me realize, like, maybe I could make my process more efficient, right? Even if we did go back, you know.
Yeah.
And what I love about it is, you know, we don't have full control right now. You don't have control whether you're going to be able to, like, you know, get on a plane, get out of the house, like see like your, you know, there's weddings that are being canceled. There's people who can't have people at their funerals, right? We don't have control, but we also don't have zero control either, right? there's places where we have a little bit of agency. And you said, all right, like, I'm going to see whether I have more agency here than I really think. And it's just,
Yeah.
and it opened up these new ways of seeing your practice.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I want to actually ask, because I think it's really powerful. Um, you also recently decided to come back and work with me, and we're working through some things, but that was spurred by you thinking, okay, I'm at a different kind of moment. Things might slow down a little bit. I'm not sure. I have some priorities. So I just want to talk through. Yeah, tell us how you're deciding to spend this time of disruption.
Well, I had worked with you last year,
Yeah.
and the experience I had last year was that we sort of set this set of goals, and we had these objectives to meet those goals. And surprisingly, it worked, And I mean, I'm not surprised because I was surprised I was able to follow through. Uh, but uh, and I got really busy again. I mean, one of my goals was, just real briefly, was to get better at networking, to pursue jobs that I really wanted to pursue. And that ended up happening. And I got really busy again.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a portion of what I wanted to do with you last year, which was to systemize my office a little more and change my role a little bit. And I think I was so overwhelmed by these other changes that I forgot to also address. And so some of the old patterns started coming back because I got busy. I got so busy. And it was so what I realized in this time is that, I have to go back to thinking about these systems and how, what kind of business do I want to do? And I really felt, even though I'm really busy right now, now is the time to do it because, and you're such a great sounding board, right? Um, I thought, now, why not just pull off all the Band-Aids, right? And dive in because there's a lot to figure out right now.
Yeah, so I want to frame a little bit of what Kris did. So Kris had always kind of let work come to her, which is great on one hand, but also if you've got goals and intentions around this is the kind of contribution I want to make, it's great to have the right work come to you, but you always need to kind of be playing a role proactively to say, who do I want to work with? Like, what does the next level look like for me? So, and by the way, if you haven't really done that before and put yourself out there in that kind of scary way, it takes a lot out of you, right? Like
Yeah.
building up the energy to do something for which you can be rejected is not easy. And so sometimes the first time we do it, we need to do it and then we need to like hug ourselves. And if we don't then continue to turn it into like a habit, like immediately there's nothing wrong with us. It just means that we might need to take like, get the hug in and then be like, okay, I tried this. This was an experiment. What does the next experiment look like? What would it look like if I did this more than once? What would it look like if this was an event? How does it become a system, right? This is how
Yeah.
it happens. So that's how real change happens. And what happens a lot if you are a small firm owner, business owner, is that if you have to do the work and then also get the work and position the work and iterate on the work and iterate on the business, it's really hard because you do that and then you get really busy. And if you're not proactive, you get so busy that you forget to do, or you like, if it scares you, so it's like, I don't really want to do this, you let the other stuff go.
Yes.
And so the truth is, if you've made it through that fear barrier once, you can do it again, but it's a secondary process of starting to layer those things in and say, what does this look like on a month-to-month basis? What does this look like on a week-to-week basis? And like, what does it mean to build a new way of doing things, a new practice, a new habit?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes. Definitely.
What are you most excited? What skill, capacity, or even outcome, even if it doesn't happen immediately, are you most excited about building, taking the time to build in this moment?
Um, I think what I'm most excited about um, is going back to that big vision I had for, um, we looked at, what do I want to be doing in 10 years? What do I want to be doing in 5 years? What do I want to be doing in 1 year? Saying,
I'm getting a little delay in Kris.
oh, sorry.
No, no, it's okay. So we got you at 1 year.
1 year.
Yeah.
And so I'd like to go back to what I said I wanted in 5 years, and what are the strategies now?
Yeah.
How can I push myself again to ratchet it up to that next, level?
Yeah. Yeah, totally. I love that. And as Kris knows this, that one of my clients once called me a tough love cheerleader. It's like, if you've
You
ever,
are tough love.
I'm like, you can do it. You could do it. You can do it. You can do it. So yeah. So I'm excited to do that because I mean, Kris is just a thing to know about Kris. Kris like works on these complicated sites. She knows how, I mean, she's got so many years of experience. And so she and her firm just has so much potential, and they're meeting some of it, but they can be meeting so much more of it, and like really changing the game for how, I mean, I'll let it come out in her next manifesto or TED talk or book. But I think Kris is doing some really interesting things around thinking about public space and private space and how they intersect. So we'll leave it at that. But anyways, if you want to follow Kris and her firm, you can follow her on Instagram. You can also go to Barker, is it barker-evans.com?
Mm-hmm.
Barker-evans.com. Yeah, she's wonderful. And if you are interested in finding out what working with me looks like, if you are a small firm owner, if you're also someone who's mid-career, who's trying to figure out what does that vision of who I want to be actually look like, I've got a link. If you click the link in my bio, it'll take you to a link tree. There's one on the Next Level program, which is my program where I work with those kinds of women. And yeah, let's have a conversation. Let's see if, now is a time when a lot of people are slowing down and taking stock, and it might be the right time to do this work for you. So, all right, Kris,
Thank
you
you
so much for being here.
It was great to see you.
Great to see you too.
Thanks
All
for
right,
having me.
and bye everybody. Thank you.
Bye-bye.